Audio Jungle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of your favorite afternoon show surrounding the Buffalo Bills, the NFL, you name it. That's right, the Dom Mafia Report. Shout out to everybody in the chat already, guys. 103 of you rocking with me already. 68 of you on YouTube, 36 of you on X. As many of you guys know, I am live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST and also at 5:15 p.m. EST. I'm a little early today because the AFC East SmackDown is back on the AFC East Roundtable channel. It is no longer on the Autograph app. It is coming back home, and we're going to be live here in about an hour, chopping it up, basically talking a bunch of crap about how the Buffalo Bills are running away with the AFC East. Genuinely hope that each and every single one of you tunes in to that episode here in just an hour over at the AFC East Roundtable channel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the everydayers. Shout out to the day ones. Shout out to the newbies. Like I said, in the month of October, we welcomed, I think it was 3,100 new subscribers to the channel. Let yourselves be known, folks. If you are new here, let us know. And even better, roll call right now. Let me know where everybody is tuning in from today. Thoughts. We just ended up, surviving the Miami Dolphins with a very unlikely Tyler Bass kick at the end of the day. So sound off in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Let's do a little roll call. As many of you know, we have titled the stream today, Will the Buffalo Bills Make a Trade Tomorrow? And spoiler alert, I'm not going to lie to you. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. I would be happy. I would genuinely be happy. But I'm not necessarily sure that Brandon Beane is going to make a move, especially since some targeted players I really wanted to see. Some of those teams tend to be a bit more competitive than initially anticipated. And then number two, who is truly going to be a day one contributor going into it? Absolutely insane. Storm Garris is coming in South Carolina. What is going on? Paralover is saying, I am new from Buffalo. Welcome into the chat. Geneva, New York, guys. Keep on with that roll call. Ohio, OHIO. King Cam, what is going on, my dude? Brockport, Hampton, Virginia is in the chat. 209, California. Lovejoy, a.k.a. Buffalo. The only Swede in here, baby. Queensland, Australia. What is going on, family? How you doing? Let's talk about that. Let's go Bills, big dubs. Absolutely, EJ. That's my guy. Buford, Georgia is in the chat. I'm new. I'm from Florida. John, what is going on? Go Bills. Welcome in. Buffalo, New York. Man, New Jersey is also in the building. Luis Matos is in there. Massachusetts is in the chat. We have Oregon West Side. Massachusetts is in the chat. Should have got Saquon Barkley. Everyone's absolutely obsessing over that backwards hurdle we saw yesterday. Absolutely insane. But listen, man, don't sleep on Ray Davis. Don't sleep on sweet baby Ray, because that guy is out there absolutely taking souls, my friend. If not for sweet baby Ray, where would we be today? We have Connecticut in the chat. We have Buffalo, Amherst, I'm assuming that means. Old Fart Webster, New York. Michael Davey, hope all is well, man. Hope you are enjoying your Monday. 113 of you on YouTube, 61 of you on X, folks. Welcome into the chat, man. Welcome into the damn chat. We have a lot of things to discuss today. Okay, we have Douglas Jones just ended up coming in saying, Keon Coleman, thoughts? Well, I'll tell you what, man. Great conversation starter to begin with, because as we can see, let's go ahead and check this out. Keon Coleman is still undergoing tests for his wrist injury. That is according to Sean McDermott. I know that a lot of us were absolutely pumped that we ended up surviving the Miami Dolphins, right? And obviously we were without Keon Coleman. No, excuse me. So we were without Benford and we were without Amari Cooper. But do keep in mind, all right, although that game was adrenaline-packed, folks, it was adrenaline-packed. Keep that in mind right now, okay? Right now, Keon Coleman, as many of us remember, Jordan Poyer ended up getting called for an unnecessary roughness call as he jammed his helmet right into his wrist. He's still getting further tests. And say, for example, that I'm going to give you guys a good idea of my thoughts on it. Like, will he be gone for a couple of weeks? Saying that he needs additional tests, right? That means that he passed the X-ray, more than likely. So it's likely not broken. But the further tests are going to be looking at whether or not that there might be some further ligament damage going into it. hopefully, and I mean hopefully, he's completely fine, and we will see him against Indy. However, let's hope that Amari Cooper is back on Sunday, and that is just an Amari Cooper game that we can go up against the Indianapolis Colts, especially leading up against the Kansas City Chiefs, which is going to be something even more intriguing, or definitely a more formidable matchup, if you will. A dirty hit by Poyer. He's undercover for us in a Dolphins uniform. Oh my God. We have Eric in here. Is anyone here a mod for Richie? Richie, maybe. So that was BS what Poyer did. Not cool, Poyer. Poyer's getting fined for that. Chase Young would be great. I mean, listen, here's how it works out. So I think that there's probably several players right now that are on teams that are basically on the verge of a fire sale, right? So I look at a couple of teams. Number one is the Carolina Panthers. I understand that they ended up like winning it out. But here's my number one target right here. Let's go on ahead. Jadeveon Clowney. And I understand a lot of us are not too excited about that. They're like, dang, Clowney, seriously? Yet another Carolina Panther coming on over to this team. Well, I am going to tell you what. Because when it comes down into me looking at players that Brandon Beane could potentially go after, it all comes down into number one, is that team selling? Yes. Number two, will that player be an automatic impact player for the team? And yes, I genuinely believe that a player like Jadeveon Clowney would be able to set the edge very nicely and be able to help us out with some of our issues when it comes into stopping the run, which is the biggest issue. Right now, Bobby Babich is on the podium. I'm pretty sure he was on the podium, and I'm sure he's getting grilled about the slow defensive game that we witnessed yesterday. I am still under the belief that what the Buffalo Bills did is that they just allowed the Miami Dolphins to run on them because they were so concerned of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the perimeter absolutely torching us. I think that's what it is, right? I think that was really the case behind it. But I would be absolutely delusional if I were to come up here and tell you guys that I genuinely don't believe that we need some help when it comes into stopping the run or perhaps even getting to the quarterback. Although that I will say that Gregory Rousseau actually ended up doing pretty good yesterday as far as some of his pressures, as far as some of his moves. It just didn't ultimately end up in sacks because Tua was quite literally getting the ball out. I think the fastest I have ever seen a QB get the ball out from the time that the ball was snapped at the end of the day. But Clowney would automatically be, number one, affordable. So let's go ahead and check this out real fast, right? His guaranteed salary is only $2 million. Right over here, 1.12 base salary over the case. $4 million's already been paid by Carolina, etc. So we can afford Clowney right now, and his guaranteed salary is only $2 million next year. So if you were to go ahead and be traded after the fact, we could easily move this into the cap space, 110%. So he right now is probably my most likely candidate. If I had to guess anything, I genuinely believe that it's either going to be Jadeveon Clowney or it's going to be nobody. That is kind of where I'm hanging my hat right now, like as into where I see the Buffalo Bills making a move. And also remember that some of these teams also need to agree, right? Like a lot of us wanted Budda Baker, right? A lot of us wanted Budda Baker to be a safety for the Buffalo Bills, including myself. But let's look at the NFC West right now. That Cardinals team is now leading the NFC West, and they just ended up making a trade themselves for an edge rusher as well. So this team is clearly in buying mode, and they have a lot of faith that they can win the NFC West. So I'm not so sure that this Cardinals team is sellers right now. I'm really not. Max Crosby, unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to afford. So Max Crosby, I don't think that we would be able to afford. Number two with Myles Garrett, while we could afford him, there's no way that Brandon Beane is going to go on ahead and send over, like 3 first-round picks, which I would say is probably what it would cost, is close to 2 to 3 first-round picks. As much as I would like to do it, we also need to remind ourselves, right? So we also need to remind ourselves, would Brandon Beane do it? Okay, and we know that he holds draft picks, draft capital so close. and he cares about the cap way too much for a move like a Max Crosby / a Myles Garrett in general. First off, we wouldn't be able to afford Max Crosby. And I highly doubt that Brandon Beane is going to go on ahead and he's going to send over, right? Like he's going to send over several first-round picks for Myles Garrett. I just don't. I see some people saying, why don't we trade Von Miller for a 7th? I think some people are just sick of his lack of production out there. Do keep in mind that Von Miller was suspended for 4 games, slow ramp-up period. Hopefully he comes back to looking like he did for the first couple of weeks. Weeks 1 through 3, he was actually very dynamic. And honestly, Doug, I just don't know if any team would trade anything for Von Miller. Who's going to take that contract, even for a 7th rounder? You know what I mean? Could we get T'Vondre Sweat from the Titans? I'm not even necessarily sure that a rookie has ever been traded like at the trade deadline before, right? Like I've seen like a second-year guy be traded before, but I've never seen an actual rookie be traded at the end of the day. One player that came up from the Giants, Aziz Al-Shaair, excuse me. No, that's the wrong dude. This guy. I've seen this guy thrown out there as a potential. Okay, he's an edge rusher right over here. He's an edge rusher. He's on a rookie deal right now, 1.5 base. He could potentially also be somebody that I could see Brandon Beane potentially going after as well for some additional help at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know. With Carter and Smoot out, they need to add a defensive lineman with Carter and Smoot. Smoot is on the IR now officially, folks, in case you didn't see that. Some sort of defensive lineman is going to need to be set. That is for sure. Chase Young may be available, cost around $1 million a year. See, the problem is that Chase Young really hasn't been the same since he got off of injury while he was over in what's it called, right? Like right now, so right in 2024, and how bad the Saints are right now, like they signed this man to a 1-year deal and they voided out 4 more years just so that they could afford this guy to begin with. He could potentially be over, but like, what's to say that Chase Young is just going to automatically turn back to the football player that he was like 3 or 4 years ago, where he wasn't impressive for the 49ers and he really hasn't even been that impressive over in the Saints, like for the most part. Like, honestly, I think the Saints team could certainly make some moves. Yep, a nose tackle. Chase Young, Dan, I mean, we could afford him, but I mean, I just don't know about the production that we could potentially like get from him, right? So we need another Ted Washington. Urban Outdoors is in the chat going, oh man, legits. We have a glut of edge rushers. Enough. We are family. Saints might take Curtis Samuel. I mean, shit, at that point. Dan, I think your team is good. Bills just got to stay healthy and play smart. Staying healthy has been very difficult, LIL. That has been our biggest issue as of right now. We need a defensive tackle, not an edge. But like, here's the question. Like, what defensive tackles and so do y'all genuinely think are on the trade block right now, right? So who's going to be like out there? We have Miller and Samuel so far have been absolute big misses. Certainly have been. We have Paul coming in. Samuel has an opportunity against the Colts. He needs to show up. We have Esther. TD is going to not have a good time at 6 p.m. Well, let me tell you what, folks. Fun facts. We are about to be live over on the AFC East Roundtable channel in 45 minutes for the SmackDown. It is on AFC East Roundtable channel. I really hope you guys are able to come on in. First time you guys get to see TD Finstock, Richie, and Colby talk about our damn games and make it happen, man. We are so excited to get this going. Let's make this happen. Like my display pic, my girl is representing. Look at that. Look at that, man. You absolutely love to see it. Simmons costs too much. He certainly does. With the Jeffrey Simmons, like, there's no way. There's no way. That, and, like, I mean, how many first-round picks would he cost, too, right? Here, let's go ahead and check out his shit. Yeah, with the Jeffrey Simmons, bro, I mean, come on. 16.5. He has a guaranteed 16.5 right now. His base salary is, like, well over what money we currently have on the books. There's no way that we would be able to knock that out, man. There's no way that we'd be able to knock that out. I'm going to Indy. Should I rock an Allen or a Thurman jersey? Rock the Allen jersey, baby. We already know what that is. Is anyone else worried that McBean might be content with the current roster and won't make any moves tomorrow? So, I mean, here's the deal. It's not that he's content. I feel like Brandon Beane is always wanting to make a move. But at the end of the day, man, like, we have to remember that we're currently sitting on about $30 million of dead cap from Stephon Diggs since he ended up forcing his way out of Buffalo. We have $2 million to spend, right? So we have $2 million to spend. And a lot of like these big players that I think a lot of people want to make a move for right now, like Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, I think are probably like the two most popular names that I have been getting. And like Myles Garrett, for example, would cost like 2-3 first-round picks. So I highly doubt Beane's going to do that. And then as far as Max Crosby, I highly doubt that we're going to, first off, we can't afford a salary. And number two, that would also cost about 2 first-round picks if that was the case. So at the end of the day, man, I'm just having a really hard time. And like we see Dexter Lawrence, but like, I mean, unfortunately, we have the exact same issue right here, boys, right? We have the exact same issue when it comes to Dexter Lawrence, IDL, right? $6 million base salary is guaranteed is at 6. So he's probably at about like 3. So, I mean, technically, I guess we could. His guarantees are at $6 million in 2025. I mean, technically, maybe. Technically, maybe, but like we would have to like completely renegotiate his contract. He has no guarantees in 2026. That would be interesting, but maybe the Giants are wanting to be sellers at that point. I'm sure that all they want to do, I'm literally sure that all they want to do is just go out there and get a damn quarterback, especially since Brian Dable has been promised his job. Like, dude has been promised his job at the end of the day. So we have Dexter Lawrence is the best DT in football right now. We would probably be trading close to 2 first-round picks at cost. Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. So there would be no way that we would walk out of there without at least sending over 2. Is Daquan Jones still in the NFL? Great question. Great question at the end of the day, guys. Great damn question. If you were to ask me. Guys, listen. All right, listen. I do want to remind everybody. I'm Bills Mafia Santa Claus this year, as many of you guys know. All right? And I'm doing a weekly giveaway of signed memorabilia each and every single episode. Okay? This week, I am giving away this signed James Cook jersey. Signed James Cook jersey, folks. It's absolutely beautiful. And all you need to do is be a subscriber to this YouTube channel and also have a free pristine auction account. Link is in the description. Guys, like I said, I am doing a bunch of giveaways all week, all season long. I have a bunch of signed jerseys. I have some rookie cards that I'm going to be giving away. So definitely go on ahead and get in on the action. You don't want to miss out on this. I almost promise you that. Best way to beat the Ravens is not to play them. Paul Walker is coming on in. Hey, listen, you know what? Last time the Bills were 7-2, okay? And so I did put this out there earlier today on my earlier stream. This team ended up going to the AFC Championship. We beat the Indianapolis Colts, and then we also ended up beating the Baltimore Ravens as well. In Baltimore, by the way. Have you? So, is history repeating itself? Is history repeating itself? I think that's kind of the case. We have P.E. Joel. Dan, okay. So we could have a scenario where the Jaguars go full fire sale and trade Trayvon Walker. I've heard rumblings. Trayvon Walker, man, I'll tell you what. As many people have been putting out in the chat, I'm not even necessarily sure that I think edge would be something we would have to go after, right? Like $985,000 is guaranteed is at $4 million, which has already been paid. Technically, yeah, we could afford that. But I'll tell you who I really like. And so I like Cisco, but like, I mean, really at the end of the day, I'm not even necessarily sure that this is somebody that I particularly want either. As far as safety, a lot of people in the chat have been putting out interior defensive line. And I am almost on the same page where I think that might have to be our number one lookout. We have Josh, member for 7 months. So we're definitely trading for a defensive end. Smoot is out 4+ weeks, wrist surgery. I can see us trading for Cloud or Chase Young. He's only due $1.2 million. Damn. That would be something, man. We were home that game against the Ravens. Excuse me. And so I heard that they are thinking about trading Von Miller. I'm not sure who would. I mean, I'm really not sure who would go on ahead and take that deal, to be completely honest with you. Safety wouldn't stop the run from being gashed up the middle. Go Bills. Sorry, Dan, won't be able to watch the roundtable tonight. I got to go bowl. Man, best of luck bowling, my friend. Certainly throw back some beers and have a damn good time. At an empty stadium because of Coof. Holy shit. Run stuffing defensive tackle. Wouldn't that be ideal? Chase is a dumpster fire. Chris Brooks is saying with Campbell from the Dolphins, he will be a perfect fit for the Buffalo Bills. The problem is right now is that will they trade to a divisional rival? That's the question. Sebastian Joseph Day is also a name that we could look at. Let's take a look. Sebastian Joseph Day, interior defensive lineman. Now, keep in mind, they have this guy, $1.3 million. Guaranteed was 1.3. We could probably get him super cheap right now, folks. He's 29 years old. I mean, it could be something. He could be something, man. Hopefully that would work out. And the Eagles might go for Miller. That certainly would be a Philadelphia Eagles move. That is for sure. Finns aren't helping out the Buffalo Bills. They certainly aren't. We have Max Crosby. Unfortunately, man, we couldn't afford him, number one. And then number two, and let's be honest with you, unfortunately, I don't think that Brandon Beane is going to send off like 3 first-round picks. I'm just not seeing it at this point. I'm really not. As much as I would love to see it, it's not happening. And the Quentin Morris touchdown isn't the first crazy Josh Allen play that Jordan Poyer has seen, but he was certainly a lot happier for the previous ones. Dwayne Smoot, man. Yo, what's up with the Buffalo Bills' wrists this year, bro? Like, wrists have been absolutely made of glass. We have defensive tackle Zach Allen. Let's go ahead and check out that potential. Zach Allen. Zach Allen is 27 years old. Except for, are the Denver Broncos sellers at this point, right? Like, they just ended up trading one of their edge rushers, and they also ended up extending one of their edge rushers as well. He could potentially be it, but the problem, we could potentially bring him in. And to be honest with you, 6'5", 285, perhaps it could be, but I don't know. And so we just saw the Denver Broncos end up moving on from one of their edge rushers, sending him over to Arizona. So I'm not even sure that would be the case. Ray Davis starting running back next year. Ray Davis is an absolute dog, man. Will the AFC East roundtable be on tonight? It certainly will, folks. It certainly will. In case you guys are unfamiliar, because like I said, I know that we have a lot of newbies in the chat. Okay, we have a lot of newbies in the chat. But I do want to let each and every single one of you know that I am also a part of a network called Roundtable Sports, where we end up pitting divisional rivals against each other for a weekly debate show. This is called the AFC East Roundtable. We have our immediate Week 9 reactions going live in about 35 minutes. I hope that each and every single one of you tunes in to watch this. It's the AFC East Roundtable channel. It's right over here. Highly recommend you go on ahead and you check that out and you subscribe and you come on in. Spoiler alert, a lot of Bills fans have been dominating the chat because Dolphins fans are certainly not showing up. Jets fans are not showing up because of the domination that this team continuously puts them through on a regular basis. So make that happen. Their wrists hurt from waving goodbye to the Finns. All right. Poyer is a dirty player. Even when he played for us, his mistakes outnumbered his good play. Chris coming in here, man. Pissed off, man. He's mad at it. Poyer's wife is so hot, though. Ray Davis 100% needs more carries. Allen is coming in. I'm tuning in from Atlanta, originally from Syracuse, New York. Go Cuse. Allen, my dude. Hope all is well, dude. Hope all is well. We have Michael Stover. Can we run on Indy? Well, I'll tell you what, man. Listen, I definitely plan on doing a full breakdown and preview of the Buffalo Bills and the Indianapolis Colts later this week. However, if we want to have a good understanding of what this team is, as far as what we are seeing from them, this is a good idea of what we can be seeing from the Indianapolis Colts, right? So the defense is 12. So yards per game is at 29. So you can get yards on this team. Third down conversion, not very good at stopping it. Fourth down, not very good at stopping it. And then here's the run defense. Okay, so about middle of the pack, rushes per game, 31 yards per game, 149.8 yards per game. Yeah, most definitely. We can certainly run the football against this squad. I mean, really, when it comes into Indy, so their entire operation on both sides of the football is certainly at question. So statistically, we should win this game. We certainly should. Has anyone checked on TD Finstock? You have an opportunity of checking in on him yourself, my friend, here in just a half hour as we welcome everybody into the AFC East Roundtable. Super excited about that. Smoot is headed to the injured reserve. Here are some of the details. You absolutely hate to see that, man. What's up, Tough Tony in the chat? How you doing? Bean is probably going to wait till the last minute of the deadline to make a trade like he did with Hines, or like Rasul Douglas, literally a minute before the trade deadline was all said and done. Who remembers when Bean did that, man? I think that there's about to be a bunch of crazy trades that happen tomorrow, and I can't wait. And I'm literally going to be live for the entire day. I'm going to be live from 10 a.m. EST all the way until 4 p.m. So I highly, highly recommend, and I hope that each and every single one of you can join me. It's going to be a trade deadline watch party, all right? And I'm going to be sitting my ass right here, scrolling Twitter until we end up getting our answers. Until we end up getting our answers, man, we're going to be getting everything that we need to. Crazy stuff. We have Jameson Williams as a 2-game suspension lifted. It's been reinstated. Wow. Look at that, man. DK. Oh, man. We want we want DK up in here, man. Let's talk about that. Friends with Armstead, wife from Buffalo. Not coming. Yeah, dude. Unfortunately not. Hey, Dan. And so do you think that NFL players are like Hunger Game tributes except that they get paid and there's no murder? Seriously, though, what position do you think we need help? Hey, listen, funny analogy. Super funny analogy right there. I mean, listen, Summer, I'm going to tell you what. I honestly think that we're either going to trade for Jadeveon Clowney or we are going to trade for nobody. That's really where I'm at right now. It's definitely going to be somewhere on the defensive line, but there's so many moving parts. Number one, is this team a seller, right? And then number two, what's the draft capital that they're going to ask from Brandon Beane so we can completely wipe out really any possibility of us trading for a guy that would cost more than a second-round pick, if you were to ask me, because we already walked away from a third, right? So I don't think Brandon Beane is going to subject our first 3 picks next year, and that's the first and the 2 in the second round for really any other player. So I honestly think it's going to be Clowney or nobody. That's me. William is coming in. It looks like the Chiefs are looking for another big trade on corner. And do you think we have any chance to compete with their roster now? And if they keep improving the roster while we are not? I mean, listen, dude. So I think we improved our roster. It sucks that we had Amari Cooper out last week, but that right there should have been a move, right? Where people were okay, with Brandon Beane, he's bought in. Because a wide receiver like Amari Cooper is crazy. Problem is that we only ended up seeing him for 2 games while he was being ramped up with the playbook, and then he ended up getting injured. Him coming back, once Keon Coleman is back as well, hopefully his wrist injury is not too significant. I feel like this offense is here, boys, right? We have a great offensive line, fantastic offensive line, great run game. When all of our wide receivers are healthy, it's absolutely disgusting, and Josh Allen is playing, I'd say, relatively safe football this year. As far as defense, right? It's certainly inconsistent, but do keep in mind that we have held several teams to only 10 points this year. So, I don't know. We have J.C. Horn. You think Beane hits a half-court shot tomorrow with 3 seconds left on the clock? I feel like he does it every single year. Last year was Rasul Douglas, who I really didn't even see as a possibility. So, as far as everything that we are predicting or anticipating, who knows if that's going to happen. So I think Keon is a rookie. He's playing well for a rookie. Yeah, most definitely. He's going to make some of these plays. He's going to make some mistakes. He is a rookie. But make no mistake, folks. Make no mistake. If Jordan Poyer did not end up hitting Keon Coleman, he would have caught that football. I've watched the replay a million times. Keon would have came out with that football. And so my boy Matt's in here saying that Elam is a bust. He 1,010% is a bust, man. We threw Elam out there last week in hopes that we could have him audition for a potential trade. Nobody wants that fool. Nobody wants that guy. Trade Oliver. He's been on a milk carton since getting the bag. We have T. Dobbs is coming on in saying Smoot has to get wrist surgery, 4 weeks minimum IR. I know it sucks. From what I understand, we might not see him for 3 months. It's more significant than Carter's injury that he had a couple of weeks ago. We have Elam isn't Benford, but he has more takeaways than other DBs, including interceptions. We have LIK. Maybe we played Elam yesterday to try and bring up his trade value. I feel like that's exactly what it is. Is Benford hurt? He had some sort of wrist injury too, bro. There are so many wrist injuries on this Buffalo Bills injury report. It's absolutely nuts. It's frustrating almost to a point. Wilt is in the chat. I think we'll end up just cutting Elam, but his style is physical enough that he can help you out. I'll tell you what. And so I think Poyer is a little resentful and trying to prove himself right to the fins, and he overcompensates. I mean, listen, he's always been a super physical player. I don't know. I thought Elam would be the next White, but I am definitely happy we drafted Benford, a diamond in the rough. 6th-round pick. He turns out to be one of the best corners in all of football right now. He is absolutely deadly at preventing separation. Okay. So we remember Mario saying, I was in my gap. I don't care what y'all think. Oh, man, dude, look at that. Muhammad from Oregon CB next year round. Oh, man, we're already sitting right now, man. We're already talking about mock drafts. We're going to talk about mock drafts over here. We're not the Jets. We're not the Dolphins right now, man. We're talking about the season. And last time I checked, folks, we were 7-2, and I feel like we should be pretty damn happy about that, right? Listen, it's very easy for us to, to have complaints on our team. And so I really know that, we would have some things where, we would – it's for example, several of us are mad about the defensive play, yesterday, right? And, several of us are, trying to pick and choose, players we don't like things that are wrong with the Buffalo Bills. But listen – let's take a time machine back to about 2 months ago. And if I were to tell you, hey, through 9 weeks, this Buffalo Bills team is 7-2. How many of you would have been absolutely thrilled with 7-2, right? That's how I look at it. Each and every single team has issues, right? Even Chiefs fans, man. I have been actually putting myself sort of as a fly on the wall of a lot of Chiefs group chats and stuff like that, or Facebook pages, or even conversations. And a lot of Chiefs fans are upset with how the offense has been playing, right? They're demanding changes going into it. So we are not alone. Each and every single team is going to have their issues that we would like to obviously address. But at the same time, I honestly think that, say that we were to hop into a time machine 3 months ago and I were to tell you that we were 7-2, I feel like each and every single one of us would be clicking our heels right now. And we have a great path forward. And so we really do. Have this Indianapolis Colts train, beat the Colts. Boom, we are 8-2, and we're hosting the Kansas City Chiefs at home. If we scrape by the Kansas City Chiefs with a win, we're 9-2 going into the bye. We get healthy. We have the San Francisco 49ers, who have also been struggling tremendously. They have lost quite a few pieces. I mean, some things right now, guys. Honestly, I look at it from here. And so I genuinely want each and every single one of you to look through this schedule with me, and let's go on ahead and predict the final score, or the final record, because this is where I'm coming at right now. All right. Okay. So the Colts. So I'm going to say we beat the Colts. So I am going to say we beat the Kansas City Chiefs, because we always play very well against them in the regular season. We have won the past 3 matchups in the regular season. We're at home. Things are just fitting nicely. Okay. Then afterwards, we have the 49ers and the Buffalo Bills. That is on December 1st, 7:20, Sunday Night Football. Super excited about that. Super, super excited about that. 49ers, Bills, let's make it happen, right? Next up, okay? Next up, Rams win, Lions loss, Pats win, Jets win, Pats win. See, I have a funny feeling that we're going to end up the season 13-4. And so I literally think that we go 13-4. So I think we either lose one of the Chiefs or the 49ers, not both, but one of them. And then I see us dropping to the Detroit Lions. So best case scenario from my eyes is 14-3. Most realistic is 13-4. Basement floor expectations for me is 12-5. Basement floor expectations. And so do you think that you can make an extra point? I don't know. I don't know, man. Let's check it out. So what have the Chiefs done on offense this season in any game that the Bills should be worried about? Is Mahomes is out there throwing picks. We have Cam. And so I can see a loss rate to the Rams and the Lions. We have Camden coming on in saying McCaffrey should be back by the time that we play them. But, I mean, and so how is he going to look, right? And so we got to beat the Chiefs so we can get first place. We also need the Chiefs to lose to the Denver Broncos the week before. That would be something we have to take a look at. Know what I'm saying, boys? Okay, we have Josh Johnson coming in the chat. Sadly, I can't watch you tomorrow because of school. It's all right, man. Hey, brother, it's all right. So now that CMC is back, we need to get our run defense together for the game against them. I mean, hopefully we end up making a move, and hopefully Matt Milano gets back sooner rather than later because he's also a massive piece to our run defense. So they're worried about the petty flags and Spags second half lockdown. So we need the Chiefs to lose one game before we beat them. Totally agree there. Any update on Keon Coleman? Reload Productions with a great question. As many of you guys know, he suffered a wrist injury yesterday due to the hit that he suffered from Jordan Poyer. They're still doing tests, which typically means that more than likely he passed his x-rays, but now they're doing further tests to see if there was any ligament damage. All right, so hopefully he's good. Hopefully he can be out there against Indy. But if you were to ask me, I genuinely believe that he's going to be out against the Indianapolis Colts. Derek Brown. Derek Brown is potentially somebody who wants to take a look at. Let's take a look at the contracts. Derek Brown, interior defensive lineman. Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. That's going to be pretty tough. I really don't see us doing anything there. This is a very interesting contract, and he's owed $14.5 million fully guaranteed in 2025. And he's 26 years old. He would probably cost a little bit of money. So unfortunately, Derek Brown, I think, is not in the cards for us at this point. Okay. And so the Broncos might bounce back against the Chiefs after they got the doors blown off of them yesterday. I mean, listen, this is a divisional matchup. It's certainly a possibility. Dan, what is your final record prediction for the Cowboys? I'm thinking 6-11, and they will be the Giants, Panthers, and Commanders in a meaningless game. So the Cowboys are now going to be without Dak Prescott for weeks, right due to a hamstring injury, right? And then maybe even CeeDee Lamb for a couple of weeks. 5-12, bad team, dude. Bad team. I just hope that Keon doesn't have a broken wrist/forearm. And so I am fine with him sitting versus the Colts as long as he is back for the Chiefs and the Niners. Who are the Bills possibly trading for? We have Tian coming on in. What's up, man? How you doing? So here's the deal, bro. I think that it is either that they end up trading for Clowney, or I think that they end up just making a trade for absolutely nobody. That's basically where it's at. That is basically where it's at. Guys, so I do want to remind everybody, so I am doing a bunch of giveaways this year, and all you need to be is a subscriber to my YouTube channel in order to be a part of these contests, all right? As many of you know, I have given away a signed Keon Coleman helmet. I have given away a signed Keon Coleman football, a Josh Allen rookie card. I'm giving away, hold on, this James Cook jersey. It is signed James Cook jersey. Could be yours. Could be yours. It's all you need to do, folks, is simply just be a subscriber to this YouTube channel and make a free pristine auction account. Link is in description. All right? Look at that, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to see you over at the AFC East Roundtable. As many of you guys know, I am a part of a debate show called the AFC East Roundtable, where I just troll all of my divisional rivals every single Monday and Wednesday. So do me a favor, head on over to the AFC East Roundtable so we can unpack all of this information. It's going to be a fantastic show. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to be live for 6 hours for a long-ass time, folks. I am going to be live from 9 a.m. Well, no, from 10 a.m. all the way until the trade deadline is over with, folks. All the way. All right, listen, I am doing a full trade deadline watch party, and I can't wait for each and every single one of you to join in. Like last year, we had like 5,000 like live people watching. It's absolutely insane. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, folks. And I will see you in just a couple of minutes. Peace.